Every year in May, I get the same phone call. A public affairs leader is panicking because they have a board report due and they're currently digging through 6 months of sent emails and sticky notes trying to remember which staffer they talked to about that one specific data center bill. That moment isn't a failure of effort, it's a failure of architecture. Today, we're talking about why your filing system is actually a strategy and how to build one that makes reporting a breeze. Welcome to Policy Wins. I'm Tommy Zai. I spend my days as an onboarding consultant at Quorum, helping teams set up the systems they need to win. In our last episode, we talked about moving from signal to decision. We discussed how the fastest teams clearly separate their updates from their decisions so they can move at the speed the moment demands. But to make those decisions, you need your data organized. Today, we're focusing on issue management. We're going to discuss the future self rule and how a little organization now saves your reputation in 6 months. In my role as an onboarding consultant, I see a lot of messy accounts. But honestly, this isn't just a software problem, it's a strategy problem. Whether you were using Quorum, another tool, or just a series of complicated folders on a shared drive, teams often make the mistake of thinking issue management is just a place to store keywords. In reality, your issue map is your central filing system. In Quorum, this is the architecture that allows you to organize every single topic and subtopic with actions in all of them. I always tell my clients, your future self is either going to thank you or hunt you down. If you aren't using a dedicated tool yet, you're likely manually trying to link spreadsheets to calendar invites. But if you're in Quorum and you tag your bills, your meeting notes, and your emails to the issues as you go, the end of session report essentially writes itself. If you don't build this habit now, you'll end up in what I call the scramble come May or June. That's when you're desperately trying to find a bill from the Midwest that you think you had a meeting about, but you can't prove it because your notes aren't linked to the legislation. The real payoff isn't just having information, it's having that information tied back to the specific policy outcomes you are responsible for. One of the big mistakes I see teams make is overcomplicating their setup. They create 50 different primary issues, and suddenly no one knows where to tag anything. As an onboarding consultant, my recommendation is to make 5 to 10-ish primary issues. These are your big pillars, like artificial intelligence. Then within each primary issue, you can have sub-issues for added nuance. For example, under AI, you might have generative AI or data privacy. This structure keeps your dashboard clean while giving you the finesse to report on specific niches when leadership asks. If you have old issues from previous sessions cluttering your view, archive them. You have 90 days to recover them if it was archived by mistake in Quorum, but clarity for the current year is the priority. The pro teams that I work with don't just tag bills and call it a day, they tag everything. This habit is what separates teams that merely monitor from teams that manage an issue. Don't just track the bill sponsors, tag any of your legislative champions, those officials and staffers who are already on your side or agree with you on a specific topic. When you need to activate a hero, you should be able to pull that list of champions up instantly. You'll also want to tag your engagements and build that history of your engagements on different issues. Every meeting note you take and every email you send through a tool like Quorum's Outbox should be tied back to the primary issue. This will create a paper trail of influence. So if a colleague gets promoted or changed to another team, their institutional knowledge does not leave with them because the history of those conversations is already there in your issue folders. You'll also want to tie any grassroots advocacy campaigns to your issues, other government documents like GAO reports or press releases. Anything that's relevant to your issues that you care about should be tied to those issues. The goal here is to stop treating policy work like a series of isolated events. When you multi tag, you aren't just tracking a bill, you're tracking a narrative. You can show your boss exactly how many meetings, emails, and grassroots actions it took to move a piece of legislation from introduced to signed. Here is your homework for the week. Look at your list of issues. If it's a graveyard of 2025 or 2024 priorities, clean that up. Narrow it down to those 5 to 10 primary pillars for 2026. Start the habit of tagging today. Your future self, the one who has to hand over a report in 6 months, will thank you for it. If you're a Quorum user, jump into the Issue Management tab on the left-hand toolbar and check your architecture. In the next episode, we're going to talk about how to actually find the bills without losing your mind using our new AI bill tracker. Thanks for listening to Policy Wins.